It was November 16th, just a week and a day after the election that rocked our country and left it profoundly divided. Like a severed glacier, American citizens stood on two chunks of ice, miles apart. I'm a conservative in Nashville who held my nose and voted for Trump, and wrote a blog post about it. I titled it, "I'm Not a Hater." My post garnered a firestorm of responses, one from an old high school friend in Seattle, Kelly. That's me on the left and her on the right. She's a liberal who voted for Hillary. Kelly's response on my Facebook page was honest and heartfelt. I responded in kind. That night, she sent me a private message asking if I would be willing to consider leading a workshop with her in which we would teach the art of empathetic dialogue. As a communication trainer, that was right up my alley. My eyes filled with tears as I read her message. Yes, yes, yes. Our first step was to attempt to have our own empathetic conversation. Not just a civil conversation, an empathetic conversation. A conversation in which we would suspend judgment, ask curious questions, and listen to each other's hearts. Before our first call, we recorded individual vlogs, searching deep within ourselves for our emotions, our doubts, our hopes, our dreams, and then we connected through Skype. It was a rich conversation, a sacred conversation, in which I heard my friend's fear and the fear of her community. I asked curious questions to better understand. I watched her wrestle with the reality of what this new administration could mean for all she holds dear. I saw her distress, her anger, her sadness, and I could empathize. I had felt those same emotions after previous elections that sided in favor of liberal administrations. I didn't try to talk her out of what she felt. I just listened. She asked curious questions and listened too. I revealed to her that I and many of my conservative friends feel like this election is a reprieve, a 4-year respite where our values have a chance of being upheld. My friend's eyes widened as she took that in. She didn't try to talk me out of it. She just asked questions and listened. She said, "So you're saying that for 8 years you've felt like your values haven't been upheld?" I nodded, yes, exactly. As she reflected back to me what I had said, I felt understood. Not defensive, not afraid, not judged, but understood. It was a foreign feeling coming from the left. It was refreshing, even healing. We recorded our Skype conversation, but as technology would have it, the audio didn't record, just the video. So we are left with snapshots. The 2 snapshots I want to remember are when Kelly was showing me the tension and angst in her community. I could see it in her gestures. And then when she teared up, expressing the pain and turmoil in her community and the fear everyone felt. I teared up too at the end of our conversation, telling her how much I valued her, loved her, and how afraid I had been that we would lose our 30-year friendship over this. As we stayed engaged in the process of understanding each other, we began to see how responding from a heart-centered place allowed us to lay down our weapons and defenses and connect with each other's humanity. And while perhaps we still stand on our 2 chunks of ice politically, the warmth of our connection through empathetic dialogue is melting us, melting our hearts to experience our shared humanity despite our differences.